Hello, hello. Welcome to the Around Table. As you come in, please say hi, please say hello, so we can recognize you and you can show the love by reposting, sharing, showing the love by sharing this video out, letting someone else know that we are live on today. Today is July 18th, 2023, and our topic on today is the empty nest syndrome. Okay, now everybody has a different take on it, and we're just going to give views on pre and pro, um, what it looks like, what I personally have gone through, and that I can share with somebody else because I got a lot of feedback on this, saying that some people are preparing, and some people are in the midst of it, and some people have already gone through it. And if you have any suggestions or anything like that, just put them in the post here and we can go from there. Okay, so my name is Juanita Adote. I am the CEO of the Around Table. Just a little background. I say it before I come on each live. This was given to me back in 2020, and I let it sit. I did nothing with it. After I sent out a post, to be honest, there was two the musicians. That was gonna be my first session, and then didn't manifest, and I just put it down and I did nothing with it. But now we're back, we're better, and we're gonna give God the glory out of this. So anybody's watching this, they will be able to get something out of this. And we pray that God get all the glory out of this. So on today, as you come in, say hi, say hello, because it's going to pop up that Juanita's live. Juanita's live. I'm live on YouTube. Hello, everybody from YouTube family. Welcome in. Welcome in. You can also post on here. We will see it. Everybody who's going to come in. Hello, everybody. We have the Santiagos tonight. Woo! And I just told them I appreciate them coming in on tonight on the Around Table to share their perspective, their views. So I'm gonna pause and let them introduce themselves. Anything they have going on, any channels, any websites, any businesses, all that, they can do that right now. So I'm gonna pause and let them take over.
Hello, everybody. Well, I'm Victor Santiago. That's my wife, Bernadette Santiago.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. We do have a business called VNB Enterprises LLC, and that we operate a food stand called the Comfort Zone. You can catch us on IG on the Comfort Zone. It's the_comfort_zone12550 on Instagram, and it's Facebook. It's just the Comfort Zone. And we also have VNB Catering Services, catering company. We do full service catering as well, and we're just happy to be here and talk about this topic.
And we know a lot of this, so we're ready.
We're ready.
All right. So let me plug in your channel so when people come in, they can see it. So let me just write that in there. Our plug. As soon as I figure out how to do it, y'all. I'll put it in. I'm gonna plug it in so anybody watching the video, they can go on and give me your website again, because I'm gonna plug that in so people can actually go to have your information.
The Instagram page is the_comfort_zone12550. That's the Instagram, and the Facebook is just the Comfort Zone.
The Comfort Zone. So, all right, the Comfort Zone. And then Instagram is the underscore comfort underscore zone, right?
Yep, the underscore comfort underscore zone 12550.
12550.
Yep,
Okay. All right. All right. So today's topic is the empty nest syndrome. Now I looked this up and it gave like a synopsis of this, but I'm going to share my experience as well. So it talked about what empty nest syndrome is. If you don't know, there's like if you have a home, you got children or you got someone in your home with you that grew like with me. I had three daughters that I raised, and so they started leaving my home. So that means you empty, your house is empty, and so it's a real thing. It's a syndrome where people have to cope or learn how to cope with this being home alone. If you have a spouse, even with that, because you could be in a home with someone and still be alone, right? With some. If you haven't put that relationship together, you know, connected together. So that's what it is. It can lead to many other things. It can lead to depression. If you don't put a handle on it, it can lead to drinking alcohol. I didn't know that, but when I looked it up, I guess it is. You get depressed, you kind of find something to fulfill it. You have an empty space, and you start drinking or whatever, or take on someone in your house that cause you kind of fill that empty space in. It's a thing. I did not know that, but let me give you let me give a little portion of mine before I turn it over. Like I said, I raised my daughter by myself, and I did a great job with it. Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
And so before my youngest, I think she was like 12, 15 years old. My bishop has said to me, your life is surrounded around your children. You're going to have to learn how to live for me. And I was like, okay, I just can't wait till they leave. Oh, I got this. And he was like, no, you have to start living for yourself. I actually thought I had, I thought I was good. I thought I was doing it. I actually wasn't doing it, y'all. I thought I had everything in place. I had the plan. I knew because in my head, I said, oh, I just can't wait until my children leave the home. Right? I didn't know what I was saying because when that time came upon me, because I wasn't, when someone said to me, what do you like to do? And I responded, well, actually I didn't respond. You know why? Because I thought I wanted, it was what I lend myself with my kids to do. Oh, I like to go here, and I had to stop and go, no, that's not actually what I like to do. Oh, that's my oldest. She liked to do that. I did that for her because she wanted to go there. Oh, I like to listen to this type of music. And I'm like, wait, no, I don't. That's my other daughter. And then I realized that I didn't know who Juanita was any longer because I was that mother, I was that friend, I was that sister, I was a listening ear, a family member, co-worker, all that stuff. And you could say identity crisis because I was everything to everybody else, especially when it came to my children. I didn't do anything for me. I gave up my life for my children. And so when they got up to live their own life, I'm like, wait a minute, but what about me? I did all this for them to get them up, to grow them up, and now I'm in a situation where I have to leave them. And I didn't know that. 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 I d Because when people start calling, my feelings go out. I don't. They if they just come on you the lot, they come on first and they think that I'm live. So I did get back to, so I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had to do a soul searching for myself to see, what do I want? What do I really want? What do I like to do? And that was kind of hard because I had to do a process of elimination from what my kids did, what I did for my kids, and what I actually like to do. And then feel okay with it and enjoy. And then here come my grandbaby. And that now I have to learn to say no. I have to learn to say no. This is for me. This is my day. I need to relax, or I need to do. And I can't do everything because I can't go from one spectrum to the next. So if anybody has any, like, not suggestions, or even suggestions or things that they are actually dealing with on this is a real thing. This is a serious thing. Some people will turn to the bottle, will turn to drugs because they don't know what to do. And so I'm gonna pause and let y'all go ahead.
Okay, I just feel that a lot of times as parents and as mothers, our identity is wrapped up in what we do for our children, and we tend to forget who we are, and like you said, what it is that Bernadette likes, or what it is that Victor likes, and how in a marriage it goes a little further, because it's like, do I really know my husband? Does he really know me? We've wrapped our identity, well, we do. But there's a lot of people that don't, and there's a lot of people that pour themselves in just what the children, in raising and training up their children, that they forget about themselves. So when the children end up growing up and not needing you as much, or going away to college, or moving out, you don't know what to do with yourself, because you're like, what's going on with my life?
I never had that problem.
No, we actually didn't, and I thank God for that. But there is a lot of people that have. We have 5 children, and the oldest one will be 29 in September, and the youngest are twins, and they will be 20 in September. So I think the transition from the oldest one was a little bit easy, because I want to say it was easy. I don't know for you, but him going to college and him going away was like a stepping stone for us, because he wasn't home all the time. He would come on vacays and on the summer and things like that, but it wasn't, I think that separation also helped us to, when he did move and say, well, I'm moving in with my girlfriend, we were like, oh okay. He was happy, but I was like, I was a little sad, one, because we felt, as Christians, we felt like it should have been done a different way, and our expectations and our hope are wrapped up in that. But you know what? Everybody, my father says, every person, every individual is a world of their own. You can raise all 5 kids the same way, and they all could be different. They all have different personalities. They have different temperaments. They have different needs and wants. And so, it depends on the child as well, and the relationship that you have with that child.
Or she said. No, seriously, see, but as a father, we deal with things a little differently. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get as emotional when the children leave the house, right? I don't get as, as worried, or, at least I don't show it You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's still a learning experience for them, right? Now you have to, when an eagle has babies, and they're way perched up all the way up on the nest, and they go to the highest point of the mountain to have their babies. Eventually, those eagles actually push those birds out of the nest, and those sometimes those eagles don't fly, and they fall down. But then the eagle goes and gets it, and what does he
Mm-hmm.
do? Puts it back up and pushes it out again. And he pushes it out again because the eagle that eagle child has to learn how to fly, and not only fly, but at some point has to learn how to hunt and feed itself and do for itself. And if you constantly if you constantly, do for them, then they'll never learn how to do it for themselves. They gotta scrape their own knees sometimes, and they gotta get out in
Mm-hmm.
the world, and they gotta do what they gotta do in the world. And although sometimes, it may be initially sad to say, okay, well, this one's leaving the house, now we got one less in the house, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a blessing because, as a parent, you felt like you've done your job the right way because that child feels he's ready to be on his or her own. So, and then the syndrome of being an empty nest, just having, just some anxieties of not being of the children not being around. Again, I'm a little different, right? I mean, yeah, you know, I miss my children, the ones that are not here, but then again, I
Mm-hmm.
don't miss them. Right? I mean, and I don't mean to sound crazy, but you know, I mean, some people deal with things differently. Like, if you go, and we're gonna tell you, see, our job as parents is to know when you're ready and know when you're not ready, and we're gonna tell you you're not ready, and we're gonna give you the honest truth. You're not ready, but if you go anyway, right? If you go anyway, then check this out. I mean, it may get rough out there. It may get rough out there. And
Mm-hmm.
although we want to be able to, be that rescuer, and that we want to rescue you from probably your own self. Sometimes we have to let you, sit in that mess for a little while, whatever mess you may be in, and
Mm-hmm.
there's been times where the children needed help. Hey, I need rent money and I need this, and I said, sure, I'll give you rent money. I mean, but this is a habitual. I'm not the Bank of New York. We're not going to keep on paying your rent. You want to be on your own, and if you feel you're ready, you're ready. And what she said is true to a certain extent. You don't know what you're used to doing everything for and with your children. And, you get in the car, you with the kids, and every time you wake up on a Saturday morning, it's a baseball game or a dance recital or something like that, and there's no Saturday morning for us here, right? It's all about the children, what they're doing on Saturdays and what they're doing on Wednesday and what they're doing on Thursday, and another game here, another game there, and when that's over, it's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Right? What are we gonna do to enhance our relationship? Not that it needs enhancing, but now you have to start find ways to spend quality time together, because you don't have the children there as that buffer, so to speak, or that distraction, right?
I'm glad you brought that up. There's two things I want to ask, because it's for the married couples. Um, Especially for the, I call them in-house, because people get married after words, but for the in-house, yeah.
See, you can't call
What?
yourself an empty nester. You got grandchildren. You can't call yourself an empty nester. There's too many grandchildren there for you to be an empty nester.
Actually, you know what? That's a good point that's a good point you made, because now, and this is a good topic also for me. You know why? Because I can't raise my grandbabies. I can't. This is me learning now. They're not my responsibility. They're my grandchildren, not my children. And so I'm learning that now, and it's going to be a little, I say harder, but not harder. Get that right. I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm actually on grandma duty today. It's the how to get out of that. So even with people that have grandbabies like myself, there has to be a balance, because I was doing everything, and she started getting sick. She's trying to get the video going. uh, Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the question says, how do we get ready for the empty nest syndrome? And the answer is quite simple. There is no getting ready for it. It's just going to happen, right? There's no, you can't get ready for it. Right? People grow up and people leave, and you have to, okay, when your child hits 17, 18, that's when you start coming to the realization that pretty soon this child is going to leave, right? Pretty soon this child is going to be on his own, and pretty soon I'm going to have to let this child go, and so it's not getting ready for the empty nest syndrome. It's getting yourself ready to not wanting to be, like I said, that automatic rescuer. Like the minute that child falls and has an issue, you're there to pick them up. Listen, it's okay to do that, once, twice, but if it becomes a habit, then they were not ready. And we have to be able to make sure we tell them, listen, if you do your job and say, we don't feel you're ready, and they go anyway, then that's that.
Okay, let's go back. How about when they're ready, but you're not saying they're not ready, but you're not ready to release them?
That's a real good question. I think that goes out to Beatrice's question, is that I don't think we ever are, quote unquote, ready, because we spent our life raising our children. We spent our life doing what we do for the benefit of our children, not for the benefit of us, for the benefit of them. So we just have to just be like, okay, you know what, God, I'm gonna pray for me. I'm gonna pray that I can handle this, right? Because I'm gonna be sad. Well, I wouldn't say I'm gonna be sad, right? And yes, we're gonna be worried, right? There's no getting ready for the amount of worry you're gonna have when your child leaves your house. There's no getting ready for that. You are gonna worry all the time. Is my child eating correctly? Do they have enough money to pay their bills? Are they hanging out with the right kind of people? Are they doing the right thing when they're hanging out? Are they drinking and not getting in the car? Because once they leave, we can't control what they do. So getting ready, listen, quite honestly, like I said, you just have to pray that God give you the strength and the wherewithal, that you don't become a worrisome person, and you're not just cloaked in worry all the time, because that can weigh on you if you worry about your kids all the time. You just have to listen, God, I know you got them. You had them all their life. You're gonna continue to have them, and we gotta continue to be those praying parents. Somebody prayed for us, and we gotta pray for them. And that's how I get ready, because
I think also, what we have done is actually made a list of places that we want to do, and go. And so we're starting to check mark the things that, that we're doing with, going out.
Bucket list items.
The bucket list, right. And it's in that sense, it's finding an activity or something that you want to do, that you like doing, getting to know yourself all over again, because what you liked when you were younger, before you had your kids, might be totally different from who you are now, and what you like doing now. You might want to just sit in the park or just enjoy, going to the movies. So it's like, you got to find that hobby and that something,
We spend a lot
and being in silence is always a good thing too.
We spend a lot more time, going out together, even if it's just like down to the waterfront to get something to eat, or wherever it is. Like we have our favorite restaurants, and we have our favorite places we like to go. And sometimes we'll just get in the car and take a ride, right? As long as we're together, because we don't have the children, so we got to find something to do. And sometimes sitting in the house, right? It's a great thing, but how many times can you binge watch a Netflix program, right? So you got to go out. So we started to say, okay, these are the places where we want to end up going that we never got a chance to travel to before. So we're doing a lot more travel, right? We've gone on a cruise for the first time, and we're going to go again. And we've gone, we've gone on vacations, and we're going to be going to Europe soon. Just things that you always wanted to do. So now you plan them out and you make those plans and you do those together. And when the children, here's a little bit of advice for you soon to be empty nesters. When the children find out you going, they're going to say, well, why didn't you tell me you going? And your answer has to be, because you're not invited.
That's a good point.
And then I want to get back then to the grandchildren. Like, you know, I my wife thinks I'm playing. I always say all the time. I always say all the time. And it's maybe not all right. I make a joke that when we do have grandchildren, that they come over to the house and they have a 90-minute time limit, and then they gotta go home. That was supposed to be my rule. I know it's not gonna be 90 minutes, right? I'm just being funny, right? It's not 90 minutes, but you know what? We're not, like you said, we're not here to raise your children, right? You wanted to have the child, you had the child, and I will love my grandchildren like no other, and I'm not gonna say I'm not changing diapers. That's not what I'm gonna do. But I'm not gonna do that. But if you want, and I understand you want to go out with your friends. You haven't gone out for a while. You had a kid. I get it. But the goal is that child goes back home to you. That's where it belongs, right? I don't want to get into the habit of here, take my kid, take my kid, take my kid, take my kid. Then I'm not an empty nester anymore.
Right. I think what happens is that now you're going to have to reestablish new boundaries.
Boundaries.
Right.
That's the word.
That
you want to do with your grandbabies when you want to do them.
That's a good question over there. Read that question from Dorthelia Auspicious Williams, whoever that is. I don't know.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I can't see no comments, so thank y'all. I can't see anything on my screen.
Okay, well, she asked the question: Do you think that you can lose yourself while raising your children?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we touched on that earlier. You become so consumed in doing this, that, and the other, the doctor's appointments, the schooling, the activities, the extracurricular, the church. I mean, you can be, consumed with all that you forget to do some type of self-care for yourself, and it's so important that you actually take a time out for yourself. If it's once a week or once a month, doing that for yourself. Because, if you are running raggedy, you're not going to be good for anybody.
Right.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Go ahead.
You need to take some self-care time. You can definitely get too involved in raising the children, and you can definitely forget, what you like to do and who you are and who you were before you had children. And then, and listen, that could be detrimental because you can start to now resent the children, because you don't you're not having any fun yourself, right? So, when parents are about having fun, but you got to have some kind of, like she said, you got to have some kind of you time, right? You got to have some friends or somebody you can call up and say, listen, you know what? I got somebody to watch the kids for a couple of hours.
Let's go do our nails.
Let's just go do our nails, or let's go do something. Let's get some ice cream. I don't know. Let's do something, man. Let's do something. Go to Chippendales. I don't know. Back in the day,
no, let's not do that.
People used to go to Chippendales back in the day. Go do something. I mean, let's just go do something, right? Let's go have a pizza, right? Or do something, and then you'll be surprised that even that trip to the pizza shop, you can sit there with your friend for 2-3 hours and just talking, and you'll get so lost in finding yourself again that when you go back home, it's like oh, now I can actually deal with these children, even though they may be they may have drove me a little crazy, but now I can definitely deal with them because I'm not so caught up in just the children. I had some time for me. I took care of myself. You always got to take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else.
You can't say that again. That needs to be said again.
If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else.
That's true. Hey, one of the things you said, let's go back, a bucket list. Now, for the single, because we're talking on both the people who already is living it, people who's already doing, people who's getting ready to marry, single parent, all that bucket list. That's a good point to bring up because because sometimes we tend to forget what we like, what we want to do. Like I said, I got so caught up with my children. I thought my things I want to do was actually their things that they like to do. because I was giving my stuff over to them, and I never took the time out for me until when I said Bishop said you need to start focusing on you too. And I thought I did, but I actually didn't, because when time was ready for them to go, I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I like to do? So a bucket list. Let's go back to that with the bucket list for individuals too, and marry an individual.
Even if you're single, it doesn't matter. Married, even if you're single, you gotta have it. Listen, single parents have the harder job, right? It's one of you and the children. That's an even harder job than being a married couple with children. I mean, because some people say, well, you're gonna argue about the children. No, that's a small thing. When you're a single parent, I was raised by a single parent. When you're a single parent, you have to juggle everything on your own. You have to. Now people say I'm the mother and the father. No, if you're a woman, you're the mother. You're not the mother and the father. You're the mother. Yeah. You're the one that's taking care of the children, and it's definitely harder alone. You had, and a lot of people say, I'll help you, and call me if you need me. But how many people really do need it? Sometimes that's just talk. Because when I call you, you have an excuse not to come, right? But especially when you're a single parent, you need that time to be able to say, okay, I need time for myself. Let me write down the things that I want to do in my life, whether it's for an hour or for a day or for a weekend, or when the children are grown, after they're grown, what I want to do for the rest of my life, right? And as empty nesters, travel is one of them, because we want to go everywhere, right? We want to go everywhere. Like I said earlier, I never in my life would have thought that I would go to Greece, right, on vacation. And we're going to Greece on vacation. It's just something, that bucket list item that we're getting to check off that now, that we thought we never would do while we had these 5 kids in the house, because we never thought about it, because you're thinking about thinking about raising the children.
Right. And what it is they need. They always need something. They need sneakers. They need jeans. They need clothes. They need,
Always need something. Yeah. There's another question, and she says,
hi, Pastor Sharon Bird. Welcome.
She's Dorothea again says, how do you separate your marriage, your ministry, yourself? How do you separate yourself, your marriage, and your ministry from your children? That's a great question. Because we had, we were in ministry, and we're married, and separate that, right? It's like, we never of the parenting style where we said, okay, we're gonna just drag these children with us every time we go to the church. And we used to go to the church, we go to church a lot, and we're gonna drag them every time we go. And because I felt that they would start to resent it as they get older and not go back, right? And I didn't want that, so I let them make a choice. So I let them make a choice, right? And some people agree with it, some people don't. Even we disagree with it at one point, right? But it was a decision I made, and that was going to be the decision, whether it was right or wrong. I was going to have to live with that decision, right? So I had to separate my ministry for my children. I want to force that on them in the hopes and in the prayer and being prayerful that they would still see, and I could still witness to them, ministry wise, of how good God is, and that they can't do anything, not just without their parents, but without God in their lives, they can't do anything. That when they ask a question, and how are you able to do this, and how are you able to do that, I can say to them, because God provides. Not because we make a lot of money, or because God provides. And God provides, the Bible says that he's a rewarder to those that diligently seek him. And my job as a father is to say, okay, you make your own decisions, you live with your own decisions, but never lose sight of who has you in his hands. Right. Because the ultimate person, the ultimate one that helps you is God. Because when you come to me for help, most of the time I go to him for help, to help you. You understand what I'm saying? So That's the only part of separation.
Amen.
That I share.
Amen. And we're going to pause 1 minute. I want to welcome everybody in because I can't see anything on my screen. I don't know why. So I thank the Santiago's for doing a great job on tonight. For welcome everybody in and to pull up all the questions. I appreciate that. So let's keep going. We got more.
Okay, yeah. So there's another question. I like reading questions on this thing. And it's the same person asking questions too. So I hope she's taking notes. Do you think some people begin to resent parenting because they haven't or can't do what they want to do? I'm gonna let her answer that because I've been talking a lot.
I actually have I have a couple of clients that actually resent being parents and don't do the best for their children, and they like handing off their children to other people. And so there you see, the difference between, resenting your children because you can't. But then again, it's like, okay, if you're a parent, you got to know that they didn't ask to come into this earth. They weren't asked to come to this earth, and it's your job to sacrifice for your children. You have to continually do for your children. And so if you start resenting what you're doing, is because you're not taking some time for yourself. And it's so important to take time for yourself. You need that self-care. But always know that the children are still home waiting for you to be the best mom that you can be.
And my answer to that question will be absolutely. You can resent parenting because I had resentment about being a parent of so many children at one time. I mean, of course I did. I didn't get a chance to do all the things I wanted to do, and even when I did the things I wanted to do, it didn't work out well because I was doing it at the expense of my children and my family. So, of course I did. I said, well, I can't do this and I can't do that because I got to take I got to take this guy out to play baseball, or I can't watch this. I can't watch the Yankee game because I got to be out with Daniel somewhere, or with this guy somewhere, with that guy somewhere. So yeah, we're human beings. We're gonna have that kind of feeling. We're gonna have those feelings. Of course we are. But like she said, it's about taking care of yourself and having that self-care time, that me time, and more than anything, that time with God. That 15, 20 minutes where if the kids are taking a nap, you go find somewhere and you go pray and you go talk to God. Forget about praying. Just have a conversation with God. Say, God, listen, I know the situation I'm in is not for my detriment. I know it's for my good. I know you gave me these children to raise. So if you gave me these children to raise, you're going to give me the wherewithal to raise them, and you're going to give me exactly what I need to be able to do and carry out this assignment that you gave me. Because we didn't give it the assignment. He gave us the assignment. Before the foundation of the world, he knew who were going to be our children. And we just have
I have a question. You said something. I think Bernie said something. Sacrifice, right? We sacrifice so much when our kids are, underage. They get to a point now. Do you see it as being a failure? All the stuff you did for them, all the stuff you sacrificed, and then they turn on you and do something opposite. Do you see that as being a failure? Go ahead.
You know what?
negative.
Right. No. It's a little different when you only have maybe 1, 2, or 3 kids. But when you have 5 and you raise them up the same way, and you see one doing it the way you taught them to do it, and then you see the other one going left, you're like, wait a minute. It can't be me. It can't be us. It is that child. That child decided to do that on their own. Like I said, they are a world in themselves. They have their own mindsets, their own beliefs, their own, and they are going to do what they want to do when they want to do it, in spite of what you put in them.
God has given everybody, no matter what your age is,
Free will. Yeah.
And you make it, like I said it earlier before, you make a decision, you make a grown-up decision, you're going to have to live with the grown up consequences. And I will be there for you if you need me. I'm never going to turn my back on you. But you make a decision, you got to pay for it. Like I used to say to them when they were younger, listen, I don't want you to be. You're supposed to be better than I was. So the way I raise you is so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made along the way, so that you don't have to go through what I went through along the way.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in jail for some reason, okay, I'm gonna go bail you out once. The second time, you're on your own. I'm not doing it twice, right? I did it once, right? I gave you the advice. I gave you my wisdom, and you chose to go the other way.
Right.
So I don't see anything that any of my children do, whether it's good, bad, and different, as a failure. And a lot of times I don't even see it as a success. I just see it as I carried out the assignment that God gave me. I raised them. They're on their own, and now more than ever, I pray for them, and that's it. And that's it. I don't even see it as my success, because it's not my success. Whatever success they have is their success. It's not my success. I just gave you the tools to be successful. Now, with the tools and the advice, whatever you chose to do with it, that's what you chose to do with it. But I gave it to you, and now you got to go. You got to go take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and
Now I'm not sure if we got any more questions posted, but I have one, and I want to put this out there to all the grandparents who's actually had no choice to raise their grandchildren, because there are different circumstances, and we're not taking that lightly. There are sometimes what the parents have to raise their grandchildren, and on and on. So my hat's off to everyone in that household. So, because I look back and I saw my mother have to raise her great grand that were there, so she didn't have to raise them, but they was always at the house all the time. And then it made me look in the mirror at myself, and I was like, nah, bro. No. I'm like, my mama, she was very strong. Thank you, Lord. But there's something, because, everybody's come to the house. Everybody went to Aunt Maggie's house, and grandma, everyone there. But me now going, like, no, that's not what I want to do. And I'm not going to feel guilty for that. So all the grandparents that's out there who's feeling guilty because they're made to feel guilty because the grandchildren. And for me, as a grandparent of two, I'm not going to feel guilty any longer. I had to learn that. No, I do not have to give everything. You tell me that you work, you pay your bills. I taught you. I gave you, like you saying, I gave you the tools. Don't come back and say to me, oh well, what happened, or I can't. I gave you the tools, so it's not on me. It's not on me. Don't try to make me feel guilty. Don't try to make me feel guilty when I say no. I'm not watching the grandbaby today. I'm not watching my grandchild today. No, the answer is no. Let me be me. So even with that, with the grandparents that's out there today, a lot of prayer, or just speak to somebody, because it's not easy, especially when kids are just going to throw their children on into your life, and it's happening all around. You see it all the time, where the grandparents is having the grandchildren. Someone had no choice, but the ones that do have a choice learn to live up, and then just go back. Let's go back, because the Holy Spirit had to tell me one time. I was like, because I was cash apping everybody. Here's a cash. You get a cash app. You get a cash app. I was like, everybody's getting cash app, because then I was like, because those are my children and my grandbabies. And then the Holy Spirit had said to me one day, you're doing it because you feel needed. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, that's good. Listen, shout out to all the grandparents that are forced into a situation, and because, like you said, there are situations where the grandparents, and my wife has clients like that, that the grandparents have no choice for the for the benefit of the child. That the best thing for the child is to be with the grandparent. But in a situation like you were talking about, don't make me feel guilty. Somebody, Dorothy, you put it against the guilt trip. Yeah, don't guilt trip me into staying with the grandchild because you want to go out. I understand you want to go out, and I understand you want to have your fun. But grandma, granddad, we need our fun too. Grandma and granddad, we had plans together. Like it's not. Listen, we're not gonna say that we're never gonna stay with the grandchildren so you can go out. What we're saying is that it's not gonna be a habit. It's not gonna be habitual. And I've learned the power of no. The power of no is great. No is probably the best word that there ever was in the English language, because the word no is empowering. You can empower yourself by telling somebody no. You understand what I'm saying? And although we may not want to say no, but every once in a while a no is good for the person you saying no to. Because if somebody gets told yes all the time, they're never gonna learn. They're never gonna learn, and they're never gonna learn. So maybe today I can't go out. Maybe today I can't do what I want to do.
It's about that sacrifice.
It's about that sacrifice.
You're a parent now.
You're a parent now.
You're not going to go out every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I am so sorry. That's not happening.
Beatrice put no as a sentence. I like it.
No
exclamation point.
Thank you, Beatrice. Yeah, I love that, that we are able to hear what the Lord is saying to us. We got to know what the motive is. If you feel that this is because you need to be needed, that means you need to fulfill something in your own life, in your own self, and take care of that, because everybody else is going to see that and start using you because they know grandma needs to be needed.
Get the offering plate right now. Just get the offering plate and pass it around.
My cash app is Rico 1270.
Oh Lord! But yeah, you have to know why you do what you're doing, and what are the motives.
Motives, yeah, no doubt. What are the motives? Pop, can you watch my kid for you? Why? Why you want me to watch the kid? Where you going? Oh, I'm just going out with my boys, or I'm going out with my homegirls. Okay, where you going? And if you don't want to be asked those questions, then don't ask me to what. Listen, I need to know, because not only do I need to know where you're going, because I need to know how to get in touch with you in case something happens to the kid. In case something happens, I need to know where I can find you.
Right.
It's not because I'm trying to keep tabs on you as an adult. It's because I need to know if there's an emergency, how to contact you, or where you're going to be, and who you're going to be with, and how long you're going to be. And
but it can't be something that's going to happen every day.
All the time, right?
Right.
Listen, if I want to say if I volunteer, say, hey, if I call up one of my kids and say, hey, bring my grandbaby over here, I'll spend the day with him. Okay, then
that's your choice.
Then listen, I made that choice. Then then hop on that bandwagon and get the kid ready and take him over there quick, fast, in a hurry, and bring him to me, and then go take advantage of that day. Run and bring the kid over here. Take advantage of that day. But if you're asking me, be prepared to hear no, not today, can't do it, and that will empower you. Every grandchild on here, that will empower you. The word no will empower you. I'm telling you.
Not only that, but your life is important too.
Important.
What you have going on is important, and if you don't have nothing going on, then shame on you.
That's right. Bucket list.
Shame on you. Shame on you. We're learning. We're learning today, y'all. We are here to give our perspective, our views, and we're just sharing. Now, let's go to the word syndrome. And what is taking place? So some people are in it and they don't even know. They are depressed. They're hurting. They don't know what to do. So let's speak or even lift up something for the people that's dealing with this. Because you got people who's in homes with children, but you got people that doesn't have anything to do. They don't have a bucket list. And they will pick up that bottle, pick up that person, to fulfill that what was there, because they didn't know. No one told them about this empty nest. They had no idea,
That
but
word
now they're dealing with it.
that's a deep word, syndrome, because a syndrome is something that's perpetual. A syndrome is something that's continuous. You're in it for a while, right? You have obsessive compulsive disorder syndrome, right? Or you have the empty nest syndrome, and you start and a big part of that is like what you had said and described about picking up the bottle, and said because you have allowed yourself to slip into a form of depression, and that's the syndrome. You have relied so much on raising your children that when they're gone or when they're about to leave, you place yourself. You look for, like you said, you look for something to take the place of raising your children, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's not things that are good for you, right? Sometimes you you run into the arms of another man or another woman that's not good for you. Or sometimes, you start, you pick up the weed. Or sometimes, you start, hitting the bottle way too much and become an alcoholic, because that's how you deal with being lonely.
Alone.
That's how you deal with being lonely. A lot of people have let their children dictate their loneliness or lack of. You can't let them dictate your loneliness. You have to know that even if you are in the house alone, you're not alone. You're never alone. As long as you can have a conversation with the Father, you are never alone. And He will speak to you, and He will console you, and He will comfort you, and He will tell you not to be depressed, because you've done a good job. Well done, my good and faithful servant, in raising these children, because now they're ready to go, and you did exactly what I needed you to do. You talk to me. If you want to pick up that bottle, you talk to me, just like a natural father. You have an issue, you call me. You don't call nobody else. You have an issue that you can't talk to anybody else about, I'm expecting you to call me. I'm expecting you to call her. I'm not expecting you to tell your friend, because your friends don't always have your best interest at heart. Your friends may be miserable, and they may want you to be miserable with them.
Right.
Your
right.
friends may want to bring you into that same pit that they're buried in, right? So you talk to God. When loneliness, that emptiness syndrome is all about not allowing yourself to feel lonely. And the only way you can not feel lonely when you're alone, because we have each other, but not everybody has each other. Not everybody is married. There are people on here right now that are single, raising children, and they don't have that person, that other adult, that male or female companion that they can share time with, so they don't feel lonely.
Right.
And I know it sounds cliche to just spend time with God, but I'm telling you, that is the key right there. Stay rooted and grounded, especially if you're a child of God. Know that the Father is always with you, and the Father is always there. And if you can't, and if you speak to him, you still feel lonely, then call one of your BFFs up. Call somebody who's not going to bring you into their misery, but that's going to uplift you. You got to have somebody that's going to uplift you.
And pray with you.
And pray with you automatically. Yeah. Brother, sister, I feel lonely. I'm feeling depressed. Let's pray.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Why don't you just come on over? Even bring the kids. It doesn't come on over. You got to have that. You got to have that relationship. Those relationships are key, especially for single people.
And it's also natural to feel, the kids are growing up and they're moving on, to actually feel some type of, loneliness, or that sadness, because they are growing up and they're not your babies anymore, but you got to know that you have done the very best that you know how to do, and if they need advice, you could come on over, but we can't make our children our everything.
That's a good point. You
Yeah.
cannot make them your everything, because then you know what, also, because you get wrapped up in there, you get your mind wrapped up in there and around your children, you can't hear anything, because the kids is your kids become up here. You know, your kids now it's like a you're not consulting God. You got your kids is like your first. You know, there's the first main thing. Like let me get my kids. So there is balance. You got to differentiate what's going on. And they're balanced. You got to balance. It's life. You know, so you get put have a lot of things put on your plate. You got to look at that plate like, okay, vegetables you here, you know, starch you here, you know, so meat you here, poultry you here, whatever, and separate those things and just make it like small to paint a picture because there's so many people that is sitting in this, and I could not believe it when I actually looked it up and people's like what they had to do just to get out of this central, because we looking like, okay, we got God, but there's some people who is not believers.
They got to go to counseling. And some people have gone to
Okay,
counseling.
there you go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Some people have gone to counseling over this. This
And
is
that's
real,
okay too.
right? And it's okay. It's okay because it's somebody to talk to. It's
They
okay.
they give you the tools that
Right.
you need to actually be able to handle that situation at that time.
Right. And
You know.
professionals like that, they're trained to be unbiased in a situation. They're trained to listen, right? They don't really give advice. They listen, and then they give you some self-help tools. How can what you can do to self-help yourself, right? I mean, but yeah, you got to have somebody listen. You got to be able to talk to somebody because that loneliness syndrome, that emptiness syndrome of loneliness and depression is real. That's real, and it can kill you. Loneliness can kill you. It can make you do things that listen. It is serious. So anybody that's on this thing that's feeling some kind of way because they don't have anybody but the kids around them. You know what? Get on the phone and call somebody up. Get on the phone just for 5 minutes and have a conversation.
How about get a hobby?
Get a hobby.
Learn something new. Go back to school. I was raising my kids in my 20s, and in my 30s. I went back to school in my 40s. So and it's never too late to try something new, especially if it's something that's going to better you. Take a pottery class. Some people are artsy. They start drawing and painting. You have to find yourself. You have to find a new,
Yes.
without the kids.
Without the kids, minus the kids, subtracting the kids from it, and you got you. Everybody else is gone, and here you are facing you.
Right, right.
Right.
And even you can, like you're saying, you guys, y'all go do trips and do other stuff. But then some, the women or men, can be in the same household and still feel lonely because they didn't connect before the house got empty. They're just going on like every day was just like a mundane. Get up, go to work or whatever, do, and then take care of the kids. And never look and say, wow. I think I bitch said it one time. The house gets empty and you turn around and you look like, who are you? Where you come from? And that's a real thing.
Right.
No, absolutely. That's crazy, man. It's crazy to even think of because you spend, we've been together 28 years, 27, 28 years, and you sometimes you would think that we've done it all, but we really have just started to live our lives together. We live lives for the children. We're just starting to live our lives together, and that's important to start doing. So, for the married couples, live your life, man, together.
But that's why it's so important to date your mate. Once a month, once a week. You got to pick that time to actually go out, and date each other. Even when you have the kids, get a babysitter, get somebody to watch the kids. Even like he said, go to the waterfront, take a little walk together, hold hands. Go on a date. So this way, when they leave, you actually are like, okay, what we doing next?
Right.
What's our next?
Beatrice has a good comment there. She says it's important that you know you, so when they leave, you have a life. That's the bottom line right there. Know you, so then when they're gone, you have a life that's worth living.
And that's the thing. A lot of people do not love themselves because they're pouring out their love, to their children, that they forget to refill,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, when they leave and they end up calling you, you're like real quick because you're like, oh, I need that high, I need that affirmation, and that means that you actually have to get out there and learn something new, do something for yourself, even if
And
it's
that's a
buy
beautiful
yourself
thing.
some flowers, buy yourself
Yes.
some flowers.
Yes. Take your stuff out. Take your stuff out to eat. Go take yourself to the movies.
Take a
You
boat.
know.
Find yourself a
Yes.
paparazzi consultant. Find yourself a paparazzi consultant. You know what I'm saying? And buy a
Oh
bunch
yeah.
of.
Find yourself a paparazzi.
Let it nickel free, y'all. Let it nickel free. But that was a joke. But in all seriousness, some people find that therapeutic. That you can go out and it's called what's it called, retail therapy. They have a word, they have a thing for that, retail therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people find that therapeutic, where you can go and you can be involved in that, whether it's a live session that the paparazzi consultants have, or an event that they give, and you go and you spend this money to buy this stuff. But actually sometimes that actually helps people. It actually helps people because it gets them out. It breaks the routine of what they always get, or what they're doing all the time. So it breaks a little bit of the monotony that you have going on, especially if you're an empty nester. Sometimes you look forward to that, that live from, sometimes you look
That's
forward
true.
to it. Sometimes you look
Oh,
forward
nice
to
Jules. Thank you very much.
$5, let it nickel free, man.
Even with joining community functions, that will help. Or taking a cooking class. I don't know if ShopRite still do it, but they had offered that one time.
Right, volunteer somewhere.
I know Home Depot actually, teaches you how to do something like, a project.
Right. Yeah.
They have those projects going on.
Start your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Right. Do something.
But the thing is to love you, enough to take care of yourself. You've taken care of the children. It's time to take care of you.
Amen.
Bottom line.
Before we close, any more questions? Because, like I said, I can't see them. Anybody post anything else? I think the Santiago for that.
Nope. Nope. Just people that, like I said, they had commented. I think Darrell.
Welcome, Kay.
Darrell said that. Why? That's right. Kay is on. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Mother Beverly was on, and that's it. No, and no is a sentence. They said that's it.
Well, we thank everybody for coming on here. I appreciate you guys. I really do. This means a lot. Like I said, back in 2020, I didn't let it manifest. I gotta know, or let's see, and I put it on the back burner. It was never denied. I just had to pick it back up, and so I'm doing this for the people, for them to see, because there's gonna be millions of people to see from years to come. And we pray that everything we said on this platform tonight will help somebody else to get out of that syndrome. They gave so many ideas, suggestions on tonight. And anybody, can somebody in the chat put the comfort zone? You can find their business on Facebook, the comfort zone. Can someone please plug that in for me? So everybody who's coming back watching this video, they can find them, the comfort zone. And then IG, give it to me again so they can put it in the chat.
So yeah, I'll put it in the chat right now.
Thank you.
So on IG, and Beatrice Stackhouse commented that she said the comfort zone offers cooking classes at home.
All right.
So
I like to teach me how to make biscuits.
You want to learn how to cook something crazy? Yeah, my mama biscuits.
We were looking for that cookbook. When y'all put all that stuff out, make sure y'all come back to their round table to share. Okay?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I definitely, I should write a cookbook. It's
You
not over.
should.
It's not over.
All right, it's in the chat. So just thank everybody. Thank you for letting us come on. This
Thank
was a
you.
great this is a great forum and a great thing that you got going on. I mean,
Thank you.
like I said, God put it in your spirit to do, and it may have took a while for you to get up and go, but you're going now. That's all that matters. What happened back then doesn't matter. What's happening now is all that matters.
And
Amen.
like I said before, it's never too late to start something new. You know, you just got to get out there and get it done.
Amen. We thank the Santiago for coming on tonight.
Share.
Oh, yeah, we have to have y'all come back for real.
We'll be back.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, because I love this session. Thank you, because you helped me while I'm sitting here trying to encourage myself. So thank you for all of that. I appreciate that. And also everybody who's on here tonight, please hit a like on this video, on this channel, the Real Grow, and we could be able to send it out to others so they can grow. So people might be able to grow and live from this video, maybe be encouraged from this video. And I always end, it's not over until God says so. So get a pen and paper. We will be coming back soon with Black Man, Black Man. We'll be talking about that, and there's some other things too. We also gonna have a chef. I can't think of his name right now. It skipped my mind, but he is a chef in Newburgh. He has opened the doors for the Around Table to come and do a cooking session.
Nice.
All right.
Love it.
So we will have him. We will have that coming up soon. He does wonderful things, vegan stuff, different things. So we're open to that. So we'll be back with a whole bunch of other things as God put it there and He opens doors, and we are doing wonderful things. To our God be the glory. So I thank you guys for coming on here, taking out your time to share your perspective, your views. It helped me tremendously on tonight. Get some friends. Show yourself friend. You want a friend? Show yourself friendly people.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We love you.
You're welcome. So on that note, we're gonna bid you a good night. And like I said, I end every platform. It's not over until God says so. So on that note, good night, everybody. Thank you.
Not over.
Not over.